So when we're writing, we want to make sure to avoid killer bees. Killer bees. Let's learn about what bees and killer bees are in your writing. In essence, killer bees, or versions of the verb be in English, tend to kind of ruin your writing, make it seem kind of weak and uninteresting. Let's take a look at those examples. So killer bees. Like bee, killer bees. But it's actually referring to bees, like the word be, to be. Examples of be words, or be verbs, so to speak, include is, am, was, were, are, be, and being. Again, is, am, was, were, are, be, and being. So again, we want to locate and find all of the be, killer bee verbs in our writing, in this case in our essay, and change them. Here's an example of how a killer bee verb can kill your writing, figuratively speaking. Let's take a look. So this would be a weak bee type sentence. Be something like this. It is very dark outside, and the lights are dim. So are and is. It is very dark outside and the lights are dim. Using two killer bee verbs. It's weak. So let's change that sentence. It is very dark out and the lights are dim to a more, powerful sentence without the killer bee verbs. Let's change it to something like this. Dimmed lights barely penetrated the darkness. So we use, instead of the is and the are, it is very dark, the lights are, we're going to say dimmed lights barely penetrated the darkness. A lot more imagery, and we're not using any killer bees like is and are. This paints much more vivid picture in your brain and is much more powerful. So how did I get there? Let's look at this one more time. This is the end of that first sentence. And the lights are dim. Are is a killer bee. We're going to take the lights and put them in the beginning of the sentence, make them the doer, make it active. So we're going to say dimmed lights. Again, this is just reminding you how I got there. Dimmed lights penetrated. Strong verb, not a killer bee verb. The darkness. So I took the lights and put them in the beginning. Dimmed lights, what did they do? They penetrated. Instead of are dim, it's weak, so make it active. So now your task is to go back in your essay, find those killer bee verbs. If you don't remember them, rewatch the video and change them into strong verbs. Active verbs. Switch your sentences around so the object at the end of the sentence becomes the doer in the beginning of the sentence.